All right, it is July 11th, 2023, and we are nearing the end of the 7th year anniversary Twisted Masquerade event. We've got a new shrine for you, relatively new. We're about halfway through, so got 12 hours to pick up these perks. And I know we've said this a lot, but this might be our quickest one. This is a very straightforward shrine, and we're going to jump right into it. So basically, what we have is we have three perks that are available at least for our console players free, right? I think Hag and Ace are in the Flesh and Mud chapters, so it's one that you might have to unlock if you're on PC. But all these are least behavior IP, so you can always buy the chapters with iridescent shards and unlock them with blood points. And for a lot of our players, these three perks will just be available with blood points. So that's a good thing. But again, you might not want to waste the blood points with characters you're not going to play. So, are the perks worth picking up, or do you want to waste the blood points? Are they even worth the blood points if you're not going to use the iridescent shards? So, survivor-wise, we've got two perks here. The first one we have is Visionary, which is a Felix perk, and basically you see generators' auras within 32 meters, and then when a generator is completed, Visionary is disabled for 16 seconds. Problem with this is the only time that you'd really want to see generators is after you completed one and you go to the next one. Maybe not the only time, right? You might be looking for one and this helps out. You can also just use your eyes. The tough thing here is that it doesn't do anything else, right? If you're going to run this perk, just run Deja Vu. That shows you the 3-gen, the closest 3 gens, gives you a speed burst for doing those gens, helps you not 3-gen yourself. You get extra speed, plus you get gen reveals. Uh, there are some niche situations where in chase you might want to be able to see these. You can try to avoid the gens and not run the killer to people finishing gens. But if you're in a Swift, you can just use callouts. If you're not in a Swift, something like Bond that'll show you the survivors. So you know, can I go loop this area or should I stay away from this area? Are just better choices. And for that reason, this is going to be one of those trash tier perks. And we're just going to say just use Deja. Is it Deja Vu like that, right? Just use Deja Vu, and you'll be better off there. All right, so our second survivor perk is a better one, right? It's Prove Thyself. It's a Dwight perk, and basically, for every survivor working on a generator within 4-meter range, you're getting 15% repair speed bonus, and you get 100% extra blood points. Good. It's a good perk, right? You get generator repair speed if you're doubling up, tripling up, quadrupling up on gens. It helps deal with some of the issues of grouping up, and you get extra blood points. The problem here is this tends to be a little bit of a trap perk, right? You typically want to spread pressure on gens. You don't want to all be caught together because that leads to easy injures and then easy downs later on. So it's already forcing you to join up, and a lot of times the extra repair speed just isn't worth it. Sometimes it works out. Perfect situation, it does. And the blood points are nice. Problem is in, I don't know, what is it, 2 weeks coming up, a week and a half, we have a nerf coming to this, slower repair speed and no blood points. At that point, there's better options. So it's one of those ones where we got to say this is going to be one of those. It might be trash tier. It might just be a second choice sort of thing. We're just going to say nerf incoming. So this one could definitely end up being kind of a trash choice, right? So best scenario, second option. Worst case, trash. All right. So things might not work out for that perk. Now that brings us to our killer perks here. What do we have? We have a Trapper perk, Brutal Strength, and Brutal Strength allows you to destroy pallets, break walls, and damage generators 20% faster. And on certain killers, this can be really good, right? Some killers just have built-in into their kit waste break pallets, right? Demo Shred. You've got the Tentacle in tiers 2 and 3 with Nemesis. There's a lot of other killers that can just avoid them too, right? Your projectile killers can just throw around them. Nurse can just go right through loops. So not everybody needs this, but some killers, Clown jumps to mind, can utilize this, right? Clown can throw a speed bottle at his feet, can throw a slow down bottle on the other side of the loop at the survivor, get them slowed down, and then speeding up by 20% as well when you're breaking those pallets on those safe loops. It can just throw off the timing for the survivor and lead to some easy hits. So it's one of those ones where I don't think it's really meta, but I think there's an argument to be made that it is off meta. It's a good perk. It's a solid perk. Not a huge effect, but it can add up over the course of the game. And we'll kind of show a build on Clown where we like that. And the last perk we have is Hex Ruin, which is a hag perk. And what Hex Ruin does is when you chase survivors off of generators when it's no longer being repaired, it regresses at 100% the normal regression speed. It is a totem, so it can be cleansed, then it disappears, and it is a shell of its former self. It used to be, I don't know what, 200%, so twice the speed, and it would really, really kind of regress those generators quickly. Now it doesn't do that, but there's still a place for it. It's one of those ones where before Ruin would carry games, now Ruin kind of can carry the beginning of games sometimes, right? It can give you some extra slowdown in the beginning, and then it usually gets cleansed, and then you want to go with something else. So we'll show one build where we use Ruin just for the beginning, the early game slowdown, and then we transition to Pop, and then also Ruin can just be a nice fifth hex if you're running a Plaything Pentimento build, so you can get those 4 stacks of Plaything, 1 Ruin, 5 Pentamentos for your 10 totems, and it just gives you some slowdown early on and a reason for them to cleanse totems and get off gens, just to slow things down. And then once they start cleansing their Playthings and Ruin, then you get the Pentimento going with that 20% slowdown. So it's just kind of an enabler for that kind of thing. So I'll kind of say off meta with that one as well. So we'll show builds for both of these. Honestly, our thoughts on all this is avoid this, probably avoid this, and then these are going to be unlock with BP, right? Pick this up, pick Hag up, pick Ace up if you don't have them. But this is going to be free for everybody. It's going to be free for a lot of people. So I would use BPs. But what we'll do is we'll show our builds that we recommend for these perks, just some ideas. Then we'll jump back into a summary and we'll wrap this up. All right. So I'm trying to think who's our best example here. I guess we were talking about Clown. We'll go over to Clown. Clown, we've got a couple different builds that we were kind of experimenting with, but this is one that we'll go with, right? If we're going with Clown, we like say the best for last. You'd like some sort of slowdown. We've got Sloppy on here as well, but that absolutely could be brutal, right? So now you've got 2 chase perks, 2 slowdowns, and like I said, you can kind of use your bottles, and then at real safe loops, that extra 20%. A lot of times survivors aren't counting on having 20% less time to get away, and you can get some cheeky free hits that way. Throw Sloppy back over there. And then with Ruin, 2 ways we like to utilize it in its current form are this build here, right? Here we've got a build where we're using the Sloppy Butcher add-on, right? What is it? Blind Warrior with Nurse Calling for information, Discordance for gen information. Ruins are early game slowdown, and then once Ruins cleanse, they can start popping things. So Ruin in its current state is a little easier to just sit on if you're not pressuring gens. Luckily, killers like Wraith can go around the map very quickly and push people off of generators. So we like that build. And then another example of a build we like, I'm trying to think who I have it on. I might have it over here on, and I do it right here, ready to go. Is some sort of info perk. This could be Hoarder on Cenobite. It could be Discordance. And then you got Plaything, Pentimento. That's the real strength of this build. You just need that 5th totem. So Ruin gives you the slowdown early. Once this gets cleansed and these start getting cleansed, now you've got Pentimento for that 30% repair speed. I thought it was 20, it's 30, so it's big slowdown then. So just use it as an enabler there. So we'll pop back to the store, give our final summary one more time. But yeah, we definitely would want to have these killer perks in our repertoire. The survivor ones we're probably avoiding at this time. These though, you're probably better off Unlock him with BP, grab Hag with Eerie Shards, Trapper everybody has. A lot of people already have Hag if you're playing on console. It's probably the better use of them. But if you don't want to play or unlock either of those, these are perks that are definitely worth grabbing. They're worth picking up. So those are our thoughts. I'm Smig. Hopefully these help you out, help you make a decision. We try to bring some educational content. If you guys like this, please hit that subscribe button, and hopefully we'll see you in the comments. We love suggestions, or maybe we'll see you in the fog sometime in the future. Take care.